newsnow.com. Welcome to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle, LaPorte County's original social media. Sound Off is a public interest forum that encourages your voice to be heard on the topics and issues impacting our local communities. For the next 30 minutes, we invite you to be part of the conversation by calling 219-362-0522. And you can now text your questions to the Liquor Vault on-air line or by email to soundoff@967theeagle.com. This is a topic-based program, and we ask that you keep your comments brief, concise, and related to the topic being discussed. The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the hosts or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media, LLC, or the sponsors. The Liquor Vault on-air line is now open for your calls or texts at 219-362-0522. This is Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Hello, friends. Today is Friday, January 14th. It's good to have you with us on today's show. We've got a guest in the studio today. We have Mayor Tom Dermody with us on a Friday show. He was continually coming in on a Monday. Who knows who listens on a Monday? I know some of you do, but we've got a lot more listeners on Friday. I said, Tom, listen, Mayor, if you want some hard questions from listeners that actually care, that really want to engage, you need to come on Friday. You need to actually meet your constituents. And guess who's here to meet his constituents? Mayor Tom Dermody, how are you?
Oh, I'm ready to go today, Nate. I think if any pregame that you, I, and Dennis just had is indication, this time will go quickly and it'll all be exciting and fun.
All right, so let's say you have a question today for the mayor about what's happening in LaPorte or anything, or you want a good recipe for dinner tonight. You can call Tom Dermody. The Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. That number again is 219-362-0522. You're welcome to call or text us and let us know what kind of questions you have. Again, any questions good. That is asked civilly. All right, Mayor Dermody, give me a rundown. How did the ESPN tournament stuff go?
Tremendous. I'm still living off that those 3 days. The NIBC and the schools had a meeting this past Wednesday. They said they just couldn't have been happier with the way they were treated. First class was the word that was used. Great thanks to Mark Schreiber, Brett Benversi. They worked their butts off, all the volunteers, the sponsors. Special thanks to, Jack Arnett, the CVB, and we're excited to have it next year. Don't get nervous with my cough.
Do you have COVID?
No.
If you do, so help me right now. All right.
We're.
Can I come in on this real quick? I mean,
yes.
Tom, we went over these questions earlier this week on Tuesday, and obviously our host here doesn't pay attention, so maybe I need to ask the tough questions here.
Listen, Dennis Siddell. You're behind the ones and twos. Stay behind the ones and twos, all right? All right, we do have some questions coming in. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody on the show today. Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. We've got some questions coming in here. The ruin of farmland, homes, wetlands, and wildlife habitat is not worth $200 million. The town should solve its own problems without forcing rural residents to suffer. If town residents want to live in a city like Valpo or Carmel, they should move. I'm going to guess this is probably about the LaPorte corridor. Do you want to give an update on that? And again, give a defense for it, because there's some people that don't want to see it happen, but there are some people that do.
Absolutely, and I'm not sure. $200 million, I don't know where that number has gone to. I think it's less than that.
You know, a lot of people are talking about inflation right now, so maybe it's inflation.
It's inflated. But what I can tell you, this is a county project. They're the ones that started this. It's good for the entire county, and Nick Minnick, our city engineer, I'm not sure what farmland is being ruined, and I would encourage anybody that has questions. We want to be respectful of that farmland, and Nick Minnick has done a great job meeting with county residents where this potential corridor could go through. 362-2327. He will meet with anybody to walk through the ideas. And again, as I've said, this is not your grandfather's corridor. This is a very lean, specific corridor that from the city's perspective can address the truck traffic coming down through Lincoln Way. This is not Carmel or what other community, Valpo?
Yeah.
This is to address, to make sure we can have a more walkable downtown. We just had one of the gravity test site individuals for the COVID that's been over at the Civic. And by the way, I encourage everybody, sorry about my cough, 8 to 4, Monday through Friday at the Civic next week, even on Martin Luther King Day. They will be there. But he just had his side view mirror taken off by a semi while he was parked. Yeah, and that's a tough thing to do, but we see the future not only for the city, but for the county as well, that this is a good thing to draw more people and bring those kids back that we've educated, bring them back where they want to be with their families here in LaPorte, and make the downtown the place to be from our city perspective.
All right, we've got LaPorte Mayor Tom Dermody on the show today. If you have a question for Mayor Dermody, let us know. The number is 219-362-0522. Again, that number is 219-362-0522. You're welcome to call me or text me on that number. Hey, what about, here's a question, an indoor baseball/softball tournament facility?
Yeah, I think that some type of indoor facility for young people to play would be fantastic. We've talked about that, as well as Newport Landing with the YMCA, all of that. And I think that would be a great facility and something that we need. We are the baseball capital of Indiana, and that, again, would be something special. We just have to differentiate ourselves. It might be ice rink. We're going to be testing the ice rink concept here on the 21st of January in downtown to see what people think of it, how do they like it, and we're really excited to start that. And again, thanks to Mark Schreiber.
All right, we're going to get to our first caller of the day. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody on the show today. Let's answer this call here. Hey, thanks so much for calling. Thanks so much for listening to the show. What's your question for Mayor Dermody?
I was wondering, where can you view the maps of the proposed bypass around the city?
Well, I'm not sure that they've been updated, but if Nick Minnick is listening, he can give that website. I can't remember that. But call 362-2327 and they'll get any information you need. I think, Nate, what is that last website you have there? LaPortecorridor.com.
Yes. And the options, the maps suggestions. I don't know if they're updated suggestions or not, but that's the website that's ran by the Lockmuller Group, who is, I think, your consultants on these, right?
Yes, but please call, because Nick has done a lot of work after meeting with county homeowners and farmers. So please call him and he will give you the latest information and listen to your concerns as well.
So let's talk a little bit about the lit tax. There have been a lot of our listeners that, again, some of our more conservative listeners don't love new taxes, right? I'm going to say this. I'm going to go on a limb here and say nobody loves new taxes. Some really hate new taxes. And this lit tax is something that is kind of being pushed a little bit because of the way the state does income tax and property taxes, these kind of things. Explain to our listeners a little bit the lit tax and why you're in favor of it.
Well, we are in a public safety crossroads. You look at EMS, you look at the Sheriff's Department, you look at Michigan City, and most importantly, the city of LaPorte as well, from our perspective. And people haven't been able to, any of the communities haven't been able to keep officers. It's a different world today. You see EMS where I was just talking with Andrew McGuire, how if all 3 ambulances out, and this happens all the time in Michigan City, they have to pull somebody over from LaPorte, an ambulance, to cover an accident, and life and death are a matter of minutes. We in our police department, we have sometimes only 4 people on a shift, and you think about 2 domestics, an accident, and somebody else is going into a situation with only 1 officer. Right now, again, the LaPorte County gives back $28 million to property homeowners in the form of the property tax rebate. Thank you to the property tax caps. So it's not like we're spending out of control. We lose 25% of our budget to the property tax caps that go back to homeowners. So we are giving $28 million back countywide, between the county entity, Michigan City, LaPorte, and all the other entities, schools, everybody. But people still want police and fire and EMS. Call loads are going up. We just been go through high risk warrants. How many hundreds of those we have in the city of LaPorte alone, not countywide, not Michigan City-wide. If we're chasing those, we can't even deal with the speeders on Pine Lake, on Lincoln Way. And if people want us to stay with where we are, we're just going to have to cut back on what we provide. But we see LaPorte, Michigan City, the county, we want to be a safe environment. And you hear from Sheriff Boyd, you've heard from everybody, Republicans, Democrats alike, that we are at a crossroads. This is the time. And again, you look at the income tax rate. The average income tax rate for counties in the state of Indiana is 1.76%. LaPorte is currently at a 0.90. And people want their services. They want public safety services, but how can we do both? We can't have continue to drive. How low do we go? And then someone's calling for a service that they don't receive.
So tell me then, you would take that and raise it a little bit. Obviously, it'd be a little bit higher in that 0.9, but you're still not talking about being in one of the highest, counties and taxes in the state, correct?
The more progressive counties that are near that 1.76 and some of the surrounding counties, if you said at the worst case you increase by 0.50 rate, that would bring us overall to a 1.45, still roughly 30 cents below the state average where other counties are. Mm-hmm. And all I've heard from every day we get calls, police need to do this, police need to do that. We need them to come here. We need our community safe. They are working their butts off. Fire, 2,500 medical calls this past year. And again, when we're talking life is a matter of seconds, we want to make sure people are getting the services they deserve.
So one of my listeners wants to know here, so with this local income tax, can you commit to not spend any of the money to hire any more non-public safety employees? I think with the lit tax, you can only hire public safety, correct? Only use that for your budget. So
the public safety lit can only go towards, and again, it's not just salaries, it's equipment, it's the jail from the county's perspective.
The overall budgets for those.
Correct. Now, that money does free up. You can use for roads, that you put in that you're currently paying. You can start using that. But I don't like increasing taxes. In fact, I was a part of the property tax cap and voted for it with Governor Daniels, and Governor Mitch Daniels is the one that really started working on this lit option for locals. And 71 of the 92 counties have a public safety lit. So we just, again, would be 30 some cents below the state average. And if you looked at it, sorry, still that lingering cough, but somebody that makes $20,000 a year taxable income would pay roughly, if you went to a 0.50, would pay $8.33 a month to have this service. And people on specific Social Security and only Social Security would not pay into it.
All right, well, we're going to take a break here, our first break of the day. And listeners, if I don't show up on Monday for Sound Off and I've got COVID, you know who to point the fingers at, all right? He says it's not COVID, but it sounds like a COVID cough to me. I don't know. Hey, I want you to stay safe where you're at. Keep listening through it. From what I understand, the CDC says you cannot get COVID through the radio waves. And so keep staying where you're at. Keep listening to 96.7 The Eagle. We'll be right back.
Ben Conowitz here, LaPorte Seamless Gutter, 219-362-9972. Fall is here, and that means leaves and debris for your gutter system. We've got 3 separate types of gutter guard for your home. Leaves and debris come in all shapes and sizes. We don't need a one-size-fits-all for your gutter. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 219-362-9972, or you can visit us on the web, www.lpseamless.com.
Tech Credit Union is now in LaPorte. Their newest branch, located on Boyd Boulevard, is open to the community and ready to meet your financial needs. Take a look. You'll enjoy access to the latest banking and loan services, but without the big bank fees. Tech Credit Union is the better option for personal and business banking. To learn more, visit techcu.org or contact their LaPorte branch at 219-266-3100. Again, that's 219-266-3100. Tech Credit Union is an equal housing lender and federally insured by NCUA.
For the best selection and the lowest prices on your beer, wine, and spirits, look no further than Verk's Discount Liquors. Not sure what to bring to the party? Stop by the newly opened Verk's Discount Liquors at the corner of Highway 421 and 400 North in Michigan City. Be sure to check out the discounts when you purchase by the case. They also have several other stores throughout LaPorte and Michigan City for your convenience. Time to get the party started? Check out Verk's Discount Liquors.
So who's hungry? Good, because I've got a deal for you. Hey, it's Dennis Siddell. Make sure you listen for Denny's Diner weekdays at 6:55 right here on the Morning Mayhem. Both Joe and I will be cooking up some country trivia questions, and if you have the correct answer, you'll be the winner of a $20 gift card from either JJ's Side Out Bar and Grill, Wana Pizza, The Burger Bar and Grill, Nowhere Bar and Grill, and T-Berry's Diner. Make sure to join us for Denny's Diner at 6:55 a.m. during the Morning Mayhem for your chance to win a 96.7 The Eagle.
Your opinion matters. We invite you to share it by calling or texting the Liquor Ball on-air line at 362-0522. That's 362-0522. Now, back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Welcome back to Sound Off, everyone. I am in the WCOE COVID studio with Tom Dermody, who says he doesn't have COVID, but seems to be coughing like it. I don't know.
And been tested.
Yeah, you
twice.
say. Show me the results. All
there
right,
you go.
show me the proof. All right, if you have a question for Mayor Tom Dermody, the Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. Love to hear from you today. Let's get to some more callers. Hey, thanks for listening to the show. What's your question for Mayor Tom Dermody?
Hi, I'm not sure if that's a done deal with the overpass. I just wondered if anybody had done any studies. I saw that, and again, like somebody else said, I don't see a lot of information about what streets are going to be closed, but I thought they said Detroit Street was going to be one. It was going to be closed off, which they need to do a study because that's like actually a main thoroughfare to get to what's going to be Newport Landing, where Kroger's is, and Ollie's, and Tractor Supply. I live on the east end of town, and so I go that way. I turn there by Ringer's Bar and go back around the roundabout. You can't go, if you go down McClung Road, you can't come back by on this side of the lake. You have to go by the park, which, a lot of times if there's art in the park or if there's other stuff going on, there's traffic, you have to go so slow. You're just cutting off all the ways to get to Newport Landing for people coming from this way. I just wondered if a study was done to see how much people use that Detroit Street. I do that rather than take Lincoln Way and the overpass and all that.
Sure.
So that was just my question.
Thank
you so
And-
much for calling.
And study has been done. And again, just this past week when we had the train shut down the crossings, we saw firsthand what happens and why Tipton Street needs to be that small overpass that will then swing you down into Newport Landing, get to you where you need to go. So I think it's a good thing. But can you imagine with what happened this past week if we had emergency services that needed to cross and everything was blocked off up to Tipton Street? But yes, studies have been done. And again, I would encourage Nick Minnick, contact him at 362-2327. He's been lead on this. And I would have conversation with him and share your concerns, and he'll be able to answer that.
All right, let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show. What's your question for Mayor Tom Dermody?
Hi, Mayor.
How are you?
I live on Indiana Ave, and I got a letter this past summer from this engineering company out of Indianapolis, and they said they would be up here working all summer because the state had a project for Indiana Ave, and now we got little yellow flags going all the way down the west side of the street. I just wonder if you know anything about the project that the state highway is going to do on Indiana Ave.
Well, I'm not sure about a current one. The big focus is going to be coming up in 2025 with Indiana Ave, south there along to Kingsbury Ave and I think a little beyond. And again, Nick Minnick's getting the load. They can give you the updated road work with the state of Indiana at 362-2327. But again, yes, Indiana Ave, and we're in dire need for work on under pavement and getting that resurfaced because it's been a long time.
Let's get to another question through the phone lines here. One more. All right, you've got Mayor Tom Dermody in the studio today. You're on Sound Off. What's your question for the mayor?
You got me?
Yes, sir.
Tom, not a question. I've got a comment. You were talking about public safety. Why don't you use your contacts in Indianapolis and have the Senate kill that gun carrying bill? We don't need people running around out here like the Wild West. There's no reason for that. You realize that?
Well, and again, I was public safety, public service, chairman.
It's been years.
It's been years dealing with guns, abortion, gaming, and alcohol. So that was a bill that would come, concealed carry would come before my committee. I didn't hear it. And I just think it's not too much to ask having somebody go for some type of review before they receive a weapon in this time and day of our life and everything that's happened. So I never heard that when I was the chairman.
Bill wasn't on the, I know, and you can listen to all of our past episodes here on Sound Off. And the last time I think Sheriff John Boyd was on the show, we did talk about it a little bit, and he was not in favor of that bill, nor did he believe it would make communities any safer. So you can go back and listen to that if you'd like as well. Here's a question, a couple more coming through our text line. 2 county commissioners are on record as opposed to the corridor, as well as over 2,000 signers for the petition opposed to it. How does the corridor project even move forward if the county commissioners are opposed to it?
Well, I'm not sure that 2 out of 3 are opposed to it. I've not been officially given that. I've also seen names on the signatures, and we've been going through some signatures. People aren't even in the city of LaPorte or in the county of LaPorte. And again, we have there are plenty of people that support this for the future. And again, be glad to sit down with whoever, walk through those names, and hear from the county commissioners that, that they're opposed, because I've not been officially told that. And we're just continuing. The money is there. We have to compete for that. And the county has not informed us at all that they're backing out and want no part of this project.
All right, another question through our text line. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody on the show today, 219-362-0522. You can call me or text me or email me at soundoff@967theeagle.com. All right, here we go. I love and appreciate everything Tom has and is doing. I love it when questions start like that.
But?
Yeah.
Is there a but?
There is. LaPorte is in a better shape in a short time than all past administrations in the past 2 decades. That's great. My question, when will you hold Brian Chalik accountable for cleaning up the old Bernanke greenhouse property?
I think that's another great housing opportunity. When we talk about housing, code enforcement has worked with Brian, and we're excited to have conversation not only there. We see what's happening at the banks. We see at Tidma Bakery. We see Beechwood Lakes, and we see 701 Maple. And I would like to say the banks, I posted something yesterday, and the banks gave us a contact today and said the phones. And let's make sure we understand this. Not all local, but quite a few local people calling to get information. And they were very pleased with that. We also have 701 Maple with all kinds of people on a waiting list. Tommy Very. We're trying to provide housing for everybody. Just because the banks comes in doesn't mean it's for everybody. Just because 701 Maple comes in doesn't mean everybody will like that. But we're continuing to develop housing for all levels needed in the city of LaPorte. And this isn't just a LaPorte issue. This is a regional, state, and a national level concern with all housing. And we're excited to continue to develop housing for all people in our community.
So you could say then to our texter there that Jeff Batchelor is aware of that property then, and
absolutely yes,
it is on the city's attention then.
Yeah, and again, our goal is we see housing opportunities there which is much needed.
So it's not a property forgotten or, turned the eye on. You certainly know about it.
Correct.
All right, I've been calling for 2 years now on the street by Fast Pack and Rental It. The only answer I get is it's in the works. Mr. Dermody, I wish you personally drive over on that street to see for yourself. I've worked at Rental It for years, and it's appalling.
We've actually worked with Fast Pack. We've worked with American Rental It, and Darlington will be receiving money in this upcoming spring, and Darlington's on the list because I have driven that too many times and said it's unacceptable. So I've got our list, and Darlington is being addressed with the funds coming this spring.
All right, let's get to another caller before break.
And before I cough again.
I know, I'm going to get COVID. I know it. All right. Thanks so much for listening to the show. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody with us in the studio. What's your question for Mayor Dermody? Hello?
Hi.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hello?
Yeah, it's you,
Hi.
bud.
I have a question about the guy that just called about the gun permit thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to stop anything from anybody getting a gun. There is a way they can try to stop that is by putting a gun permit or a gun emblem on your driver's license if you can carry.
Well, and again, that's not something the city is involved in. That's what the Indiana legislature and Jim Pressel, and Jim has been a great partner of the city of LaPorte, but you would want to contact him or Senator Mike Bohachik to discuss this.
And I do encourage you, again, if there's obviously, we've got Senator Mike Bohachik coming on next Friday, but if there's a bill you don't like, posting about it on Facebook, but do let your representatives know by emailing them or whatever way they want contacted, calling, these kind of things. It does matter. So if you support a bill or don't support a bill, make sure they hear about it. All right, one more text question before our break. Several minutes ago, Al's Supermarket had a radio ad and said our West Side store is under construction, but our other store is open. Were they speaking of LaPorte, or was I just hoping and dreaming? I live on the west side and drive, but there are so many who live in the area who walk to Aldi's. I sure hope for the sake that another grocer will be open before Aldi's closes on the west side. Can you give us an update, please?
Absolutely. We've been working, Bert Cook, Leap, and myself have been working on options for a west side grocer. We understand. I want it. Everybody wants it. We just need a grocer to commit to it. Some of the issue are the cost of setup now. We've seen it where costs that are one time $3 million are now $6 million. And so you have to get a business to support that, be willing to invest in that. And we're continuing to work every day because we need a West Side grocer.
All right, well, we're going to take one more break, our final break of the day, and get back to your questions and let the mayor get something to drink. And hopefully, I'll disinfect all this in here during the break. Hey, keep listening to 96.7 The Eagle.
Car problems often strike at the absolute worst times, but you can rest well knowing that Cannon's Automotive Service is here for you and dedicated to get you back on the road with prompt, efficient, same-day service. The same Cannon's commitment that LaPorte has trusted for over 50 years. Cannon's Automotive Service, now with 2 locations, 710 Tyler Street and 909 Boyd Boulevard.
With Cannon's Automotive, we fix everything.
There's 3 deer hunt seasons, right? Bow, shotgun, and the one you're never prepared for, deer in the headlight season. When that darn deer decides to jump right in front of your GMC and... yeah. Not the preferred way to get your 16-pointer, but if it happens to you, the Collision Center at Sowers Buick GMC stands ready to remove all evidence of that hunt from your grill and get you back on the road pronto. Remember, when it's crunch time, it's time to call the Collision Center at Sowers Buick GMC in LaPorte. Oh, and happy hunting.
Are you excited about being a new grandmother?
Of course I am. A little intimidated, too.
Why?
Taking care of a baby today is so different than when I had you.
But, Mom, you did great with me.
Thanks, son. But I put you on your stomach to sleep.
Right. But now we know that babies should always be placed on their backs to sleep for naps and at night to reduce the risk of sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS.
You also slept with blankets and toys in your crib.
True. But now we know to keep everything out of the crib except for my sweet baby girl. No blankets, pillows, or other soft or loose items.
Daddy's going to teach Nana all the ways to keep you safe while you sleep. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
For more tips on safe sleep for babies, Visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. That's safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
Michiana weather.
Cloudy skies this afternoon with a high of 32. Northeast winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. 15 tonight, chance of snow. A dusting of snow Sunday night. From the Weather Center at hometovnnewsnow.com. Right now, 30.
We're waiting to hear from you. Dial or text 362-0522 and let us know what you think. That's 362-0522. Back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Welcome back to Sound Off, everyone. For our final segment of today's show, we've got Mayor Dermody in here on a Friday, and I want to thank you to all who are listening on the radio and all who are listening online. We've got people from Florida, Kansas, Washington, Illinois, and Michigan all over. So thank you so much for listening to the show today. It's good to have you. On Mondays, we've got Lisa Pierzakowski coming up, Senator Mike Bahachik coming up on the show. Lots of great episodes coming up. Keep listening to the show. Let's get to another caller here. Welcome to Sound Off. Glad to have you. Mayor Tom Dermody's with us in the studio. What's your question for Mayor Dermody?
Is that me?
That's you, sir.
How are you, Mayor Tom? You're doing a nice job on the city so far. I like it.
Thank you, sir.
A couple things on the east side of Clear Lake Boulevard there. Those two triangles at the bottom of those hills that come down, they look like they're almost in the street there. I've seen cars that have hit them and blown out tires. I almost have myself. I wonder if you could put some markers in there or have somebody, the city cut them down with a partner saw, just put a little ramp on them because they can really do some damage to cars.
Well,
and the other thing is, go ahead.
No, thank you for that. And if you could call the park department, talk to Mark Schreiber, and let him know, that would be fantastic.
Because they need, at least put some markers up there. And then the other thing is, down at the other end there by Streeter's place, that lady is always out there feeding the geese, and all that bird crap, all the geese crap is there. That's not right. She thinks it's funny. She says, I can just feed them in my yard. Well, you know what? She's cheating the city. She is not paying taxes on a bathroom on that new addition she put on that house. So you can stop her there. Send Batser over there and nail her or that.
All right. And let Jeff know. And thank you so much. But make those calls and that'll help.
Well, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate that. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody in the studio today. If you have a question, the number is 219-362-0522. You can call me or text me. I'd be happy to hear from you. Let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for calling the show. Thanks for listening. What's your question for Mayor Dermody?
Okay, you can list Tucson, Arizona on the list of listeners.
All right. Welcome. We like to hear that.
Nice.
Yeah, we just got here a couple days ago. Anyway, here's my question. I got two of them. The street department are chopping down trees, diseased trees, and they're leaving 3 foot out of the ground. Are they going to grind those out eventually? And another one.
They have been grinding, yes.
Okay. My next question. That optic fiber they're laying down, I live on Division Street by Harmon School. Mm-hmm. How does that benefit me, or not just me, the residents, and what services can we expect?
Well, if it's Surf Broadband, they've been going throughout the city. We want to be a gig city to provide high quality, high speed fiber internet to everybody in the city of LaPorte. So I think that you want that high speed. We certainly want our schools and our children to have access and get used to high speed internet and having that fiber available. And they've just been running fiber everywhere in the city of LaPorte. So we're excited about that.
It will give residents more competition as well between Comcast and all these others. So obviously, the hard thing is the infrastructure for this was not laid down before, so they have to lay all the infrastructure down first before they can allow the residents to buy into it, correct?
Absolutely, and this will, again, the key being providing high speed, not only for our residents, for our businesses, and exciting times, and we are definitely a gig city.
All right, we've got Mayor Tom Dermody on the show today. If you have a question, we've got about a little over 10 minutes left. You're welcome to call me or text me. The Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. I'd be happy to hear from you. All right, I have a question. What are blind and visually impaired people supposed to do about calling the police for non-emergency things such as somebody destroying their property when they can't seem to do it online?
Well, they should be able to do it online, and if not, I'll mention that to Chief Chief Breton and make sure there's access available.
All right, another bypass comment here. We don't need a bypass. LaPorte doesn't get drive-through truckers. It is 95% local deliveries, local workers, and people going shopping into. Sorry, the grammar on this. No truck driver is going from 2 and 20 into LaPorte, then back to 20. Put the money into the roads we have.
Well, first of all, the money for new infrastructure or corridor money can't just be used at the federal funds just to put in regular roads. This is for new infrastructure. I can tell you trucks are going through, avoiding scaling, avoiding different things, and they're just cutting short and driving right through Lincoln Way. We followed them access, and they're barreling through Lincoln Way and not making stops anywhere in the city of LaPorte. And they don't necessarily want to be coming through here. They would like an alternative route. And again, the people that, many of them that are driving through aren't stopping at LaPorte. We will not lose business in the city of LaPorte if you provide a corridor option for those that are looking for an alternative, quicker way. And again, you look at a corridor that could stop at the Thomas Rose Industrial Park, can jump on a corridor, deliver at the industrial park, jump back on, and be on their way. And again, this is something for the future of LaPorte, and we already see in all the documentation that's been done, looking out into the future, that you could be stopping at a light 2 to 3 times, waiting for that light to turn before you can get through one light. And that's just around the corner, 10 to 20 years from now. But again, with the federal funds that are available, now's the time to compete for those dollars. And it's important. LaPorte deserves the best, and we deserve to compete with other communities for those funds.
All right, we've got Mayor Tom Dermody on the show today. If you have a question, the Liquor Ball on-air line is 219-362-0522. And a quick update, the commercial, somebody said they heard on a commercial that the Owls is being renovated. And actually, the commercial, we did go back and listen through the break. It says their website is being redone, not the actual Eastside store. It's the website that's being redone. But obviously, the city is working on getting a grocer over there as Aldi moves over to Newport Landing. The goal is to have another grocer over on that side, in due time, correct?
Correct. And LEAP has been working very hard. Also, if you haven't heard on the news, LEAP is doing something to try to put more people back to work, providing kind of a child care dollars along with manufacturers that will provide $50 to $100 in child care support. So people that can't afford child care that are looking to get back into the workforce can have these dollars towards their kids, put them in child care, and get their job back. And I think this is something that we've heard from many, especially women in our community, that can't go back to work because they can't afford child care.
All right, let's get to another caller here. Hey, you've got Mayor Tom Dermody in the studio today. What's your question for him?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Good.
Good. Quick question. I was just wondering if the city had any plans or thoughts in the future of potentially expanding city boundaries to include some of the neighborhoods on the outskirts, specifically some of the neighborhoods kind of by the fairground.
We would love to chat about that, especially where we're providing services to non-residents. If you could, my cell is 363-7293. Would love to chat about that as we're working with 39 North to upgrade that water system and the costs. That's another area, but absolutely would love to chat about that.
So if somebody is interested in one of those areas that would potentially be interested in getting annexed or something, or just having that conversation, should they contact the city?
100%.
All right.
And let's see what the services they're looking for, see where we have lines of wastewater, water, and so forth, and see if it makes sense for us as well.
We have a comment here on Facebook. I wish Nate would stop commenting on Mayor Dermody's cough being COVID. There are other illnesses going around besides COVID. Get well soon, Mayor. Yes, there are other illnesses, but not with the mayor. So
I feel great, by the way. I'm 100% could hoop right now.
Nicole, he looks all gray. You know, it's just, you know, I don't know what a, COVID person looks like, but it's I assume what that looks like. But anyway, we do have a question. What's going on with the old Don George site? I think the mayor voice went out singing Baby Blue Shark song, listening Dennis Mayhem show.
Well, Don George, we're gathering that. As you have seen, we committed to having that down before the end of the year. It is down, and now we're going to set back, have our planner, Craig Phillips, Nick Minnick, kind of put together some maybe concepts, and then I think in the spring, sometime at least before May or June, we'll put that out for bid. We just want to be ready this time to take on as many bids as we can, but really allow those developers to be as creative as possible on what they think would be good there and take a look. So we're excited about that, and again, could be a fun situation there for our residents.
Mayor Dermody, are you vaccinated?
I am vaccinated. I am boosted. I am feeling good, and absolutely, you could give me something every day in my arm if that required me not to wear this mask sometimes, but I think everybody should get vaccinated. We're trying to make it as easy as possible, encourage people to do so, and it's not worth it, some of the results.
All right, is the COVID testing site on J Street in the plaza by the Curve a legit site? I've heard of scam sites popping up.
Yeah, we've seen articles in Newsweek of these type of organizations.
I think there's one in Michigan City even.
There's Michigan City. I just talked to the mayor in Portage, which is one. We're watching this very closely. I've met with the people, walked in on my own last Saturday to know what the situation is, because we want to make sure we're protecting our residents. And we're continuing to monitor, but we've seen some national articles where this organization is shutting down in other communities, and we're not going to put our residents at risk.
So if people do need tested or vaccinated, where do they go right now?
Monday through Friday.
Where are you going after the show?
I've already been tested. So Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, the Civic through the end of January, and we had 100 people there yesterday. So Gravity Diagnostic is the one that are doing that. And, whatever you need,
so
just call us.
It is back at the Civic.
It is back at the Civic just for January. Appreciate Brett Benversi allowing us to use that. But we'll have more news where it'll be in February. But, take care of that. And I'm just going to encourage anybody and the corridor, all this conversation, and I don't know how many different ways I can put that. My cell is 363-7293. My buddies get quite a kick out of people that won't talk to me directly, but they'll send nasty grams on Facebook and social media. I'm available. I'm accessible. And all you have to do is text me. Call me. If I don't answer, leave a message, but text me is the best way, and we can chat. And you can say all those lovable items to me directly, and we're trying to do what's best for our community. I love LaPorte. I'm excited about what we're going to be after another year and good things. And we've got a great team. I think this past weekend with the hoop tournament was an example of what we can be on a national basis. And I've heard from people all around the nation texting that either played at the Civic, grew up in LaPorte, that were so proud to see our logo in the Civic Auditorium on the national stage.
So when is there's that barbecue place coming in across from Culver's. There's a place that's coming in there. There was also a fast casual place that you guys will not name, though.
That is not drive-through.
That is not drive-through.
And not Chick-fil-A.
But when is the construction of that expected? The spring, or what's going on there?
I think you'll see it this spring once the weather breaks. I'd rather have it break right now, so we can start digging. And it's going to be fun to have that strip right there and provide more options for people in LaPorte to sit down, have a great meal.
Also, is there any update on, I know the city has approached, and the developers of the apartments in Newport Landing have certainly been interested in exploring this option. Is there any update on potentially more apartments coming in there? Have they agreed to this? Is the city, are we moving forward with this? Where's that at?
We're very, very interested in furthering the discussion than where we are right now. and they're also very interested. I think they're probably working with the state, with their economic development team, and to see, what tax credits might be available to them, and we'll look forward to expand, because again, they're not going to put something up that's not justified. Yeah. And clearly with all the interest at the banks, they see more interest, and LaPorte deserves the best. And that's kind of our goal. We've seen what's happened in housing over the past 20 years with some of, especially when you look at Harrison, Jefferson, Maple, and you saw 701. That's our first partnership there with Tommy Very. I'm so excited for the public to see that. But we have federal funds that we're going to start focusing on that area and break generations of poverty and people having to live in. We're going to focus on respectful housing.
So soon you're hoping to have some more announcements, more news about affordable housing, and keep on pushing there, huh?
Keep pushing, because that's as needed as anything.
All right, I'll give you the final word of today's show. I want to thank everyone for listening. Go ahead. What's your final word, Mayor?
363-7293. Please call me, text me. Be proud of where you live. We're working hard. Our team's working extremely hard every day. If you have concerns, hey, social media is nice, but if you want answers, and you truly do, text me, call me, and be part of the solution. Don't add to the problem. We've got to bring everybody together, and we can all have different opinions. We don't have to agree. But the nastiness, everybody feels brave when they're sitting behind their computer. Call me. Let's work together and make LaPorte a better place.
And I just figured this out. You texted me last night at 1:30 in the morning.
Yes.
Maybe that's why you're not feeling well. Maybe you need to sleep a little bit more. So, hey, I want to thank everyone for listening to the show today. We'll be back on Monday for another episode, assuming I don't get the COVIDs from the mayor here. But I want to thank you so much for listening. Stay healthy. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. And keep listening to 96.7 The Eagle.
Thank you for joining us and voicing your opinion on this edition of Sound Off. The views on Sound Off are those of the host or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media LLC, or the sponsors. Sound Off airs every Monday and Friday at 12:30. Please mark your calendar and join us again for the next edition of Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.